This is the Night Owls Disc Golf Podcast. I'm Shane.
And I'm JP.
And I just want to start off by saying, go to throw_disc_golf. Give us a like, give us a follow, give us a share, do all the things you need to do. Our link tree's in there. And all of these things, so for the podcast, Instagram, for the podcast itself, for the Facebook page, for everything, all of our links are right there. And jump on, give us a like, give us a follow, give us a share, and not to ruin anything yet, but there's a bit of a surprise at the end of the podcast that you got to stay for. And did we pick a winner?
We're going to.
We are going to pick a winner. So stay tuned. We'll do that at the end of the episode. We're going to pick a winner for winner, not a winter.
Yeah.
Winner for the Black Mystery Box from Discmania. Yeah, that's the manufacturer. And that is the one, if you're not aware, with the Rainmakers in it. So
Yep.
there you go. All right, sir. Let's start out with, how do you feel about music?
Love it. Listen to it every day.
What is your genre of choice?
I usually listen to a lot of rapper, hip hop, electronic music, some rock here and there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Something like that. I mean, when I'm not listening to podcasts in the car, I'm usually listening to music.
Okay.
Or making it, made the intro and for the podcast.
Yes.
And
yep. Yeah, you kind of shared that you used to like mixing.
yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit.
So did I tell you my story about Vancouver?
No.
When I was in Vancouver?
No.
So we're in Vancouver and BC and on the island. And we're at this big central park right in front of the Capitol building. I think it was a Capitol building, but it was like a government building there.
Okay.
And it was on our honeymoon, and we're walking through this park, and I hear this like thumping, like Slim Shady coming up the road.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is awesome. Who's this? And I turn around, and I can't find anybody. And finally, I see this car or truck, mind you, a red Chevy Silverado, driving by, older white dude, cowboy hat, racing jacket on, thumping to Slim Shady.
Oh my goodness!
Like just windows down, blaring. It was awesome. It was one of the coolest things I've ever seen. So, yeah. So I'm a huge fan of music too. When I say huge fan, as in I like it. I listen to basically anything. Mm-hmm. The only thing I can't really get into is mumble rap. Just doesn't hit me in the right way. But outside of that, there's really nothing else I won't listen to. Mm-hmm. There's stuff that I prefer to listen to, but I mean, like it goes from, I don't know, like stuff my kids like to hard rock to rap to, I mean, you name it, I'll listen to it. My playlists are so scattered and all over the board. It's kind of crazy. Like if I put just a random mix on, especially like in the kitchen at the restaurant, mm-hmm. I put a random mix on. I mean, you'll get like Disney music and then Eminem and then Disturbed and then Powerman 5000. It's just incredible. And I love old gangster rap, like one of my favorite things. I can't relate with it at all other than that I listen to it.
Right.
But I enjoy it. All right. So how do you feel about headphones?
About headphones?
About headphones.
Like on the course or just in general?
On the course.
Oh, on the course.
Yeah.
I mean, I have no problem with it, but I do feel like it's an unfair advantage in a way. Like you're in the moment, but you're not in the moment because mm-hmm. you're blocking out, the outside interference. But I mean, everybody's got the opportunity to put them in. So, like, if you had a card where everybody's just jamming on their headphones, I'd have no problem with it. But it makes you seem like you're kind of antisocial, too. Like, you don't want to interact with people.
Right.
But I really have no problem with it. Like, I heard Paige Pierce mention that she just started kind of using them, or, like, had one AirPod in or something mm-hmm. and during OTB and, one out so she could still interact and hear people, give scores or whatever. But yeah, I mean, if it gets you pumped up, whatever can keep you on that high
keep
or
you
whatever.
in your groove.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking about it because I had a tournament this past weekend.
Okay.
We won't talk about that yet.
Ooh.
It was really good and bad.
Okay.
But it's the first time I've ever had a mental block or breakdown. Like my mental fortitude wasn't where it usually is. And I would say some of the strongest points in my game is putting. I mean, putting is one of those things that it's never usually an issue. I don't think about it. I don't get, and I wasn't thinking about it, but there was something going on. There was a hitch. And just analyzing my game, trying to figure something out, I was like, I wonder if just putting something in my ear, and because when we walked down the course, because we just didn't have a talkative card.
Okay.
And it got to me because I love BSing the entire time. And I'm thinking, if I just put a podcast in, I'm listening to comedians or listen to something like that, like, I think it would probably get my mind right. And I'm trying to blame it on stuff. I just had a hitch. Like, wasn't quite Barkley, but it was bad. I mean, tap ins, like 10 feet. I missed 3 of them. Like, tap ins, just straight, like, I could probably touch the cage if I fell over. Like,
not even like a chain out?
Well, yeah. I airballed 1 and 2 of them were chain outs. Like high left.
Yeah.
Just popped out. High left popped out. And then I had one that I airballed right. And then I had probably 15 to 20 footers that normally, I mean, I'm dead center chains on, I would say 98% of them. I probably had another 3 or 4 of them low right side, skip off the basket, or high right, kick out. And all my fault. I mean, we were putting on Prodigy T2s. Mm-hmm. It wasn't the basket's fault. 100% me. Like, I was just off. But I thought about that with the music. I was like, man, if I had something in my ear where I could just kind of zone, I think I may have not done that. Or it was fatigue, because the first round I played great. I was tied for 4th, but my PDJ number was the lower number, so I got put on chase card.
Okay.
And then I proceeded to come in second to last. From there, I think it was 12 people, so I came in 11th or 10th, something like that. I remember how many it was, but it was just like from 4th, tied to 4th, to second to last. So it was bad, but I had like a 958 or 960 rated first round. It put me in contention, wasn't bad. And then it was like a 907 or 908 second round. It was just like, couldn't put anything together. And those putts, like those 5 or 6 putts that last round alone, was what would put me into contention for.
This wasn't a Jordan curse moment, was it?
No, I actually played with him the second round.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah, and we were BSing, having fun, but he like, what's up? Like, you don't miss stuff like that. And I go, I don't know what it is, because I was really clean off the tee. The trespass was working really super clean off the tee. We were playing Zobel. And outside of that, upshots were fantastic. My jump putt the first round was off, but it was on the second round. As far as upshots go, that 150 and in, I was within 20 feet every time I threw one. But yeah, I couldn't putt. I mean, 5 to 15 feet I was missing. It was incredible.
Yeah.
But I'm hitting stuff like from a knee behind a bush, like 30 feet away. It's like dead center chains. I don't know what it was.
You're just like, it's got to be more difficult than it has to be, and I can make it.
Exactly. Like, I'm here, I'm going to cash. Like, I'm in prime position to be like second or third pretty easily. And yeah.
Oh, man.
So anyway, that's where my how do I feel about music came from. I just wanted to kind of throw that out there, because there was a guy in my first round that I played with that just wasn't a kind dude, and him, and not towards me, but towards another guy on our card. And those two must have had a history, and they ended up finishing. Well, I won't, because I don't want to call them out.
Yeah,
but they had something going on, because those two just did not like each other. And
were they like calling like?
Yeah, like
stuff
stupid
on each
stuff.
other? Yeah, like
stupid stuff like that.
So like retaliation back and forth a little bit.
Right. Yeah. And then like, hey, I saw one dude pulled out the rangefinder, and then he's like, hey, how far was it? He goes, why don't you buy your own? And I was like, whoa. Like, at first I thought he was just dry.
Yeah.
No, he didn't like that dude like at all. He was cool to me, cool to everybody else on the card. That dude, no way. It was weird. But
they must have played each other in like another tournament or been on the same card at some point.
Must have
each other the wrong way or something.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I think there's so many different ways, and everybody's personality plays a bit differently. Like when a super calm guy and a super energetic guy get on the card, sometimes they rub each other the wrong way, and I think that's what it was.
Okay.
So it was entertaining to watch, but it kind of played with my mind a little bit for the first like 6 or 8 holes, and then finally I was like, I'm out here having fun. Like, let's do this. Beautiful day. It was supposed to rain all day, and it ended up being beautiful. So ended up having fun. But
I know I was going to ask you, did you play anything I mean, no, like in
Yeah.
music, play instruments or anything?
Oh yeah, so I went from like I want to say fifth or sixth grade all the way up to actually my sophomore year in high school is when I stopped playing.
Okay.
But yeah, played. I actually, little known fact, I got into the Fort Lauderdale School of the Arts at high school playing the baritone sax.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. But yeah, so I played some stuff. Never good percussion player. I couldn't coordinate my hand and my feet.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, like my right hand would always coordinate with my left or my right foot and that.
Mm-hmm.
But everything else, yeah, I played a total of 5 instruments. But it was like woodwinds, like all
Yeah.
pretty much the same fingering. And then I tried out the trombone, liked it, enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Learned that, kind of. And then tuba. Yeah. So that was
That's
that.
cool.
Yeah. Did you?
Yeah, I just middle school. Like I kind of phased out of it in high school or towards high school. I started playing clarinet.
Oh, okay.
I was the only boy in like the clarinet section.
I see what you're doing.
My mom made me,
Yeah. Sure.
and then I moved.
Sure,
on
it wasn't
to-
your dad.
No, definitely not. And then I moved on to alto sax.
Okay.
So yeah, those
Yeah.
those are the two things. And then I got into piano for a little bit, but I didn't really stick with it
Yeah.
for that long. But
Yeah.
yeah.
I think we all have that. Well, most folks have that experience through junior high. You know, I think most of us played something. And I wanted to play football. Like, and Fort Lauderdale School of the Art didn't have football. And I would have had to go to Forest Hill High School. So I just decided negative. Like,
Yeah.
no way, you know? It's like not going to do it. So, but yeah, that was my experience with that. All right. So, thrower, hanger, flipper, what'd you buy this week?
Well,
I know one for sure.
yeah, I got a Sexton Firebird from the shop. I used some of my store credit, and that'll probably be just a collector. I haven't been throwing my Firebirds. Like I just have. I've just been collecting them. The stamp this year is way better than like some of the others.
It's really good.
Yeah, and that was like one of the first things. And then I was really jealous because Joe got the pink one that I wanted.
Only one in the shop.
Only one in the shop.
One that came
yeah.
in.
So I got kind of like a more purple, bluish with a gold stamp. And then Monday, I bought 2 first run PDs.
Oh, you did?
From
Okay.
Discmania. Yeah, I was really surprised because I went on pretty late to the site and there was still a lot left. There's a limit of 2 per customer, so maybe that's what it was, or like you can buy as many or whatever. But
And it surprises me. We didn't sell a single one.
that's crazy.
Not a single one. I couldn't believe it. I was just like, wow, maybe I missed the mark on trying to push them out there or something. But yeah, we had on a feature page on the site, like,
Yeah,
Nothing.
Ryan Miller had I think he had a review Monday that came out because I don't know if he shot his review at Zobel or what the deal was like,
I don't.
or maybe it was somewhere else that he
Yeah,
shot
it didn't look like Zobel.
I think it was the park by Sussex, maybe the Sussex Park or something. But yeah, he said that they were pretty overstable, like much more overstable than like the Discmania runs. So
Yeah. Well, I think with that ice plastic, and I'll give the air quotes ice
Yeah.
plastic, it seems to be every mold seems to be just that much more overstable. It's kind of like the Lucid X or the ice plastic
Yeah.
from DD.
Yeah.
You know? Just seems to be slightly overstable,
It does.
more overstable than the other one. So I love the feel of them. I used to like PDs. I don't have an arm to throw PDs anymore. I mean, it would be a meat hook for me. Even an older PD would be a meat hook for me now. Well, maybe. I don't know. But I think maybe the ones I have beat in wouldn't be. But I think
definitely
most of them-
C-line are really overstable. I still prefer the S lines.
I think I have one S line, but I don't know. I won't throw them.
Yeah.
You know, it just.
I've
So
kind of gotten off on them too, but I was like, first run, might as well get them.
yeah. The only thing I got was the thing that you got me. The fluid
the
EMAC.
fluid EMAC, yeah.
So-
So you didn't get on Instagram and check out the page who judges? at all?
So I was going to, and
They're probably still available. You could just go
I
DM
know,
her or
I
whatever.
think I'm going to.
Yeah, she had
but-
like boxes and boxes of them.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Yeah,
so-
I'd like a couple of them because I love the fluid plastic, and then I'm not going to change off judges, and to have something that's just slightly more stable for a throwing putter, because there's a lot of times where I would just love to throw a putter, but I'll bump up to my Comet or I'll bump up to the EMAC, just because I feel like I'm going to get a little bit more high-speed stability on them.
Yeah.
And I think with the Lucid or the Fluid one, I'll probably have a nice stability to it as far as throwing goes. But I was engaged in pooping at the time.
That's important. That's important.
It was.
Yeah.
And then I figured I didn't want to jump on a live Instagram, and I know that she can't see me, but I felt weird about that because I saw it pop up, and I was like, not while I'm pooping. And then I got a FaceTime call from my son, be like, "Hey, Dad, are we gonna come pray?" And I'm like, "We don't pray till 9." He said, "Oh, you got the podcast?" So I was like, "Forgot about the podcast."
Yeah.
And then I ran up here. So, so prayed and then ran up here. So haven't had a chance yet, but I'll hit her up. I haven't missed one yet that I wanted from her, so
Yeah.
I'll just DM her.
That's cool.
So, yeah. So here's our quick preview. We're going to talk about OTB. We're going to go over a list that we found from parkeddiscgolf.org. And it is what are some of the problems that everyday disc golf courses have. We're going to have hopefully a random question. If not, we'll move on to the winner of the mystery box, picking that. We're going to announce some pretty big news that's going to be coming up. And we're going to talk about the Pinecrest Flex Start that's going to come up here just quickly. But I want to talk more about operational, not about the Pinecrest itself. I mean, we'll make some shout outs and have some conversations about it. And then we'll do shop updates, which we got a lot of shop updates. And then we'll say peace out at that point. So let's just start. Well, actually, let's give a shout out. So Stuff and Things Workshop, I think that is his Instagram handle.
Yeah, Stuff and Things. Yeah,
Stuff and Things. So you might have seen him on some of the other podcasts that do video where they have nice wooden carved signs in the background. Like I think DeGam has one. Maybe it was DeGam. I don't know. I've seen him on a couple other podcasts, but he's the one that did it.
Oh, cool.
So he did these fantastic carvings, and him and I BS'd quite a bit about disc golf and his life, and his wife was there with it, and kind of talked about the 2 kids, where he's living now, all these things. But he was going up to Escanaba, Michigan, and he said, "Hey, I'm going to make a pit stop at Door County." He came walking in the shop just minutes after you did, and randomly, like I spend maybe 4 or 5 hours in the shop at most a week, and he just caught me while I was happened to be in there.
Huh, that's cool.
So Joe and I chatted with him for quite a while, and he bought a couple discs. So we appreciate the help and support. And there's a shout out. So we appreciate you coming in. It's nice to meet some of the listeners.
Yeah.
So, and then I think outside of that, because it was funny because I was like just chatting with him like he's a normal customer. Well, he was a normal customer, but chatting with him like he's a customer. And then I remember what I said, and he goes, we listen to your podcast. And I was like, oh, really? Thanks. Let's appreciate that. And then he said something. I go, your Stuff and Things. And he was like, oh, yeah. So, all right.
Sweet.
Yeah. So give him a shout out there. So we'll talk about OTB. Awesome.
Yeah.
Loved it.
It was awesome. The course changes were they were good. Mm-hmm. They were good changes. A lot of low ceilings that you had to throw through.
And the ARDs.
Yeah. The ARDs.
So they were logs laid across, I guess, select areas, and they were called anti-roller devices. Yep. And it was just to stop some of the rollers on some of the holes that were big roller holes.
Right. And it was more like you had to play a roller strategically. Like if you could like get a thrower down or something like that, get past those and like get it down, you get it. Some of the holes were hard to kind of navigate. I shouldn't say they were hard to navigate, but you couldn't see the baskets well.
Right.
Like there was a couple that were in some like brush or trees or something that you're like, I'm not really quite sure what they're aiming at. But other than that, I thought the course played really well.
Yeah, I felt the same way. Like when they were playing it, it was hard to follow the play. Like, was that a good shot? Was that not a good shot?
Yeah.
You just didn't know. I mean, for the most part, there was really no penalty for throwing a fairly errant shot because there's no OBs, anything like that.
Yeah, you weren't losing strokes very much unless you had a bad shot.
Right, like a really bad shot. Some of the water holes, I felt like the water was utilized better last year with the hole layouts, but I think it came into play. but it wasn't a factor as much as it was last year.
I don't think I ever saw anybody like dunk a disc or anything.
No,
you know?
no. Last year there were, because there was a couple where you could play some of the big high, rollover hyzers or Annies, like where Garrett Gerthy would go for the second landing zone, and those things like that. But that was last year, and this year those plays just weren't there. They played to water where baskets are at the edge of water, but it really didn't become a factor.
Yeah, you see a couple of people kind of making a death putts. I forgot what hole it was, but there's the water just right, like a couple feet behind the hole or whatever. 17
was one of them, where it was kind of out on the peninsula. Or was that 18?
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, I was thinking 17.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the peninsula hole.
That was one where it was like really, really darn close to the water. A couple elevated baskets. I mean, I thought it was a very well designed course. As far as a golf course goes, one of the more unique style of golf course, because it's just not wide open, bombing courses or bombing course. I mean, it was a bombing course, but it wasn't wide open. You had to play low lines, you had to play gaps. So I think it was a good mixture of everything. And it seemed like, from what I'm hearing from what I'm reading or listening to most of the pros, they loved it. Other than it being in Stockton, they loved it. If they could move that to somewhere where, they didn't get stuff stolen. Because I heard, who was I talking about? I said it felt like it was Mad Max or something like that.
Oh, God.
It felt like as soon as he left the golf course, it was like
barren desert.
Exactly.
Or like there's like pods of like biker gangs like waiting for you to like.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, he felt like it was just like kind of in a whole nother dimension. It was Mateo.
Okay.
He just felt like it was a whole nother dimension.
Well, when you're coming from down south.
Exactly. So.
Oh man, that's funny.
Yeah. But so MPO, we had Gossage in third, Heinberg in second, and the man, the myth, the legend, Lazat.
Yeah.
He's back.
Yeah,
he played well.
He played very well.
Yeah.
Very well.
I don't think he misplaced a drive the entire 3 days or 4 days or however long it was.
Yeah, 3 days.
With the entire 3 days.
Yeah.
And his putting was magical. Magical. I mean, just these nice, like those Simon spinny floaty. I mean, I don't know how he does it, but he's just amazing with his putts, So, yeah, he was awesome. Heinberg tried to push at the end, but just too little too late.
Yeah. And even, Gossage, and then there's a couple people on Chase Card that they showed Ricky a bit, but he kind of fell off.
Yeah. Well, and AB was there with it.
Yeah.
And that was fantastic to see. Drew was right there in it too, and that was fantastic to see. So, it's good to see those people at top. And then I think Macbeth was like 17th or something like that. So he finished in cash, but and then Brody Smith 36th. So yeah, so sad. I just got to give the Brody tracker.
I think he said he enjoyed the course.
Yes, yeah.
From what I had heard, but man, I almost shed a tear for Simon. I was so happy for him. Like I really was. Like to see him go around 18 and high five and everybody.
Yes.
And
that was the thing. Like they're like, "You ready for your interview? Wait, I got to go do something."
Yeah,
high fives to everybody.
Right, that was cool.
And how awesome is that? I mean, that just shows you why he has the following he has. I mean, other than Jomez, he has the and Brody.
Yeah,
and he has the most.
Probably most of the subscribers. Paul's probably catching up to him. Eagle's probably catching up to him, on YouTube. But he's had that elbow injury, and I mean he still throws far. He's not throwing the Simon lines, and I think we talked about that during the DDO podcast as well. But it's just scary, like how focused and like how good he throws, and it's really scary for the rest of the people on tour.
Oh, I mean, he's still not throwing Simon lines. We'll throw up the air quotes.
Yeah,
still 500 feet on a rope.
Oh yeah,
like 15 feet off the ground
at
most.
We mentioned,
and the putting is just dead nuts. And there's no one better at upshots than Simon. I mean, with his little flick that he has, 200 feet and in, he's going to put it within 30 feet.
Right.
No doubt in my mind.
It was crazy just to, I forgot 2018 Memorial. That was his last win. It's like, holy cow. But, he had taken time off. He was a dad, so all that's in play. But
oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's just so awesome.
When they said that, I was like, I forgot who said it, but they said it and it reminded me. That was when my starter broke on my Ford when I was down at the disc golf experience, and he was the pro at the disc golf experience.
Oh, get out.
Yeah, so we're the next day at Mike Harrington's, the disc golf experience. And Disc Barn, I think, is what he is on Facebook and Instagram. But we're there, and he's there doing some signings and all that stuff. And I'm sitting in there because I'm just waiting for a tow truck or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't remember what I was waiting for. Oh, I was waiting for the tow truck. And I'm just BSing with Simon, just little chatting here and there. And I'm like, so you're going to play Memorial? And he goes, and just Simon, like, he didn't mean it insulting, but he was like, what type of question is that? Is exactly what he said.
Yeah.
And I go, what do you mean, what type of question is that? And he goes, I'm the reigning champ. Of course I'm going to be there. And I was like, yeah, touche.
Yeah. Right.
So,
right.
But yeah, so that was the only time I ever met him. You know, and I've walked by him 1,000 times in Vegas and stuff like that, but that was the only time I ever had a conversation with him. But he was just so down to earth and so kind. And, you know, he's in Wisconsin and it's like negative 14 degrees that day. It was just horrible. And he was such a good sport about it,
Yeah.
you know. And nobody's coming to Mike's shop. Well, some people were coming to Mike's shop, but no one wants to be out in that type of weather.
No,
you know,
absolutely
it was
not.
crazy nasty.
I remember that. Like, I thought I was going to try to get down there for that, but I never got a chance to get down there.
Shredded some teeth on my flywheel and my starter is how what happened. I went to start it, and just being a big diesel, I didn't have it plugged in. It was cold and just cold start, and it shredded some teeth. I was like, oh. It was an expensive fix.
So, who was I thinking of? Like, Kirkland, the guy that was leading after the first round, was it? Of OTB?
After the windy round? Okay.
Yeah. Like, I don't know if I've ever seen him, but someone said that he placed well at another, maybe Silver Series or Tour Stop. He kind of came out of nowhere, and I was like, I don't know if I've ever seen this guy.
I'm not even aware, because I didn't really watch the first round at all. Yeah, so.
Yeah, it was just some... Corey, maybe? Is it Corey Kirkland? I don't remember what his name really was.
Sounds like a good name.
Yeah.
We'll go with that, Corey
But,
Kirkland.
I mean, he was leading after the first round, and then he kind of, fell off. Simon took the lead, and everybody. And the AB feature on Jomez was pretty good, too.
It was. It was very good.
Yeah.
It was very, very good.
I was, like, it kind of was in the back of my mind. He's like, anything less than third place, because he had finished, I think, second the year before. He's like, he'd be a little disappointed, but he played well. Like,
yeah.
well enough that he.
I don't think he could be disappointed. I mean, AB has struggled in the past with his putt, and I think it's all starting to click. And he's still a young dude. He's 22.
Yeah.
I mean, he's still a super young
I don't know
dude.
if he's graduated college yet.
Yeah, I mean, super young dude, still going to college. Like, he plays selectively. He doesn't do the full tour. I mean, I think once he graduates and kind of devotes, if he decides to devote his time solely to, he's going to be a force. I mean, he's already a force. But
Yeah.
he's going to be even more so. And they touted him as a prodigy and all that stuff. And I think.
Well, he's got AM championship. He's won.
Oh, it's just ton. And he was one that he would mimic people's style until he kind of morphed all of his styles.
He was kind of a Macbeth.
He used to be the mini Macbeth or whatever they call him. But he kind of morphed it, and now he has his own little thing. Like, I remember when he used to have that, like, karate chop with his putt.
Right.
Thought it was one of the neatest and most unique things, and he's tamed that down a bit now. But I remember he used to put his offhand, his left hand out, and he would, like, pump back when he would putt. But he's a guy that he putts at 1,000,000 miles an hour, no matter what, no matter where he's at. Like, it's incredible.
It is, yeah. He's always just trying to jam the putt. Like, it doesn't matter.
Right. He's a guy that no chains are going to push him out. It's either going to be the pole that's going to push him out or it's going to stay in. So, all right, FPO, you want to go over that?
Yeah, we had Juliana Korver third, Natalie Ryan in second, and Paige Pierce, reigning champion, winning again.
Right, yep. So she's back. So Korver, awesome story to see her back in third, highest rated round since like 90-something or something like that. No, was it 2000 No, was it in the 90s or was it like 2000? No, because they didn't have ratings. So it must have been like 2006 or something like that. It was the highest rated round she had played since then, or really early. And then Ryan, of course, keyboard warriors everywhere. There's nothing new to say.
No.
It is what it is, but I know there's a lot of bandhammers out there in some of the social media spheres. And so
immediately after getting on Facebook, every group was, out there banning whatever they could.
Right. And I still hold firm that the PDGA should step up and make a stance.
Right. They shouldn't be relying on that Olympic
The Olympic committees.
Yeah.
Because it's not enforceable for them. So I think they need to step up and make a call so then Ryan and the folks that are trying to stir this pot can have something to stand on. But I think for her also, it's just, let's give her something to stand on. Mm-hmm. Or not, but just make that decision. Just take a stand, PDGA. And then Pierce. I mean, Pierce is back. She's kind of on a bit of a slump, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, she's played okay. Like, she's played okay. When Kristen was here, there was definitely that push and back and forth between them. And I mean, she took a little time off before coming out here.
Mm-hmm. She was like 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, or something like that. Or 3 weeks. And Tatar not being here, like, we can speculate. I feel like the outcome might have been slightly different.
Right.
Because I think she probably would have held pressure on Pierce the entire tournament. Mm-hmm. And that seems to be where Pierce makes the most mistakes, because she tries to push these lines a little harder.
And Natalie Ryan did get within a couple of strokes.
She tied it up.
Yeah. Okay. Did she?
Yeah, she tied it up on like 16 or something like that. Okay. And she went with a double bogey the next hole.
That's what I was thinking of. Yeah, she ran into some trouble.
Yep. And like I said, I'm excited to see what happens when she wins. Mm-hmm. She will when she wins.
Yeah.
Because I just think it's going to be a fun storyline to follow. And at the detriment of some, but I'm just, as a fan of the sport, I just want to see where it goes.
Right.
I know it may be callous to say that, but I can't not be honest about it,
But at the same time, it's like, how can it not be good for the sport? Because it's opening, I think
it's exposure, negative and positive.
Yeah.
In both directions.
Right.
So, there's no moment is ever wasted, good or bad, in marketing. Like, love it or hate it, I mean, that's just how it is. So, no, but it seemed to be a good battle. I didn't watch much of it.
I didn't get to see a lot of the FPO either. Mm-hmm. I watched the Jomez coverage of the MPO mostly, and like the final day for. It was nice because in the morning we had stuff going on Sunday, and then all of a sudden the MPO was on way, at like 5:30, 6 o'clock. Late. It was awesome. I was like, I'm watching disc golf up until 9 o'clock, and it's all live, which was awesome.
I know. I laid down in bed because I got in bed early that day, and I was like, "What? Like, this is awesome!" Because I was eating my lunch at the cafe, because I was in the cafe, and I was eating my lunch in the cafe, and I just kind of went back into the bakery and turned it on because nobody was in the bakery. I was eating my crispy chicken sandwich, watching the FPO, and that was really. And I caught them. I think they were on 7 through 9, I think is what I caught, or to 7 through 10 is what I caught. So, but yeah, it was awesome to watch a little bit while I could. So, anything else to say about OTB?
Oh, I was just going to go over the qualifiers for USDGC and
Third Pink. Yeah. So there's some updates on it?
Yep. So qualifiers for this tournament were Anthony Barello, Chandler Fry, Austin Hannum, and Mason Ford, who I think we mentioned last week we were kind of surprised that he hadn't qualified yet. So
he was on our list of somebody that we were surprised, but then again, not. Like,
yeah, right.
Yeah.
And then throw pink qualifiers were Natalie Ryan and Juliana Kover. So,
nice. Yeah. Very nice. So our picks last week were, I'll go over mine first. So I had Richard Wysocki coming in first, Calvin Heimberg, and then Gannon Burr in third. So Calvin on the head got him. Richard, he had some issues with his knee again. His knee swelled back up.
Yeah.
Had some, and he
got it drained after the tournament, from what I heard. He went to the doctor and got it kind of specked out, and he said things were feeling better.
Okay.
I think but he had to get stuff drained out.
Dang, that sucks.
Yeah.
And then Gannon, I just wasn't a factor.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just didn't show up.
He was funny did you watch the practice rounds?
Yeah.
And AB and Germ on the practice rounds? That's pretty good.
It was good. It missed
I missed Yuli.
Yes. Because I noticed that also when it's Nate and Germ, it's not as catching, riveting. Like, it doesn't hold my attention as much. And with this one, at first, like the first hole, I was like, oh, this is pretty good. And then I'm like, okay, Gannon was going on with that self-deprecating, like
Yeah.
I'm young, and I was like, okay, you can stop that now. We understand. And then Germ was just having, and AB was just kind of doing his own thing. Like
Yeah.
he was
Yeah.
off doing his own thing, and Germ was just trying the hardest, the best he could to kind of bring the show, bring the
Right.
practice round together,
Yeah.
but still enjoyable and crazy to watch those lines these guys were throwing.
Oh, yeah.
Just awesome.
Yeah.
So, so then my FPO picks were Mandahano, Katrina, and Merch. Wasn't close on any of them. So, JP, you had Heimberg, Conrad, and then P. McBee. I don't know where Conrad finished up. I know P. McBee was like 17th. Heimberg was second. I'm not even sure where Conrad was.
I don't either.
So
I didn't catch the final.
But you had Pierce, and then Katrina and Olivia.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Maria
Oliva, not Olivia. Oliva.
Yeah, Oliva.
I was like, why was I? So there you go. So we weren't great on that one. We're not going to make picks because I think Beaver State is the next one, or there's a week in between.
There's a week in between, and then Beaver State. But yeah.
So we'll make the picks next week.
I was gonna say too. Did you watch the OTB skins? It was an all-female card with Kat Merch, Oliva, Deanne Carey, and Ella Hansen.
Yes,
It was pretty good.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I didn't watch all of it. I watched like clips of it here and there. Was there any of those big like merch moments?
The big one was, I think it was hole 2. Because like I watched quite a bit of it, and like I was kind of doing something else. But hole 2 was a speed hole where they had to get the hole done as fast as they could.
Okay.
So she ends up throwing, and like she set her bag down, then she like moved her bag, and like so she like quickly like went back and like picked up her bag and like ran to her disc, set the bag down, like putt, like it. She took the longest, but it was just hilarious to watch.
To watch her movements.
Yeah.
I'll have to make sure I watch that. I like I said, the more and more I watch her, the more and more I kind of like, and not in a weird, creepy way, the more and more I like fall in love with her. Like,
Yeah.
she's just such an infectious personality.
And she had some funny
it's-
commentary.
Yeah,
so,
and she's hilarious, and she can absolutely rip a disc. Like it's so fun to watch her. So not in the odd, creepy way. Like this is just like it's just fun to watch her. All right, so let's see. Let's talk about what the problems of a daily disc golf course are. Of an average disc golf course. So this is just from parktodiscgolf.org. It was a survey of 150 people and asked them on course maintenance specifically. There was questions, and then there was also questions specifically about course design. So we'll go over the course maintenance questions. One that kind of stuck out to us, and just go on to parkdiscgolf.org and you can find this study. But it's basically a ranking question, like a big problem, somewhat of a problem, a small problem, not a problem at all, or don't know. Were the options. So it's a sliding scale, 5 answers. So we kind of highlighted some of the larger ones or ones that we feel, hey, they were underrepresented or whatever. So we'll start with my first one was garbage on the course. I feel like it's a much bigger deal than what is it highlighted in this. This is somewhat of a problem at 43%. And then a small problem at 43%, somewhat of a problem at 30% of 150 people have said that. I feel like it's a much bigger deal than what they're alluding to, because every time I go out on the course, I pick up trash on every course I go into. So maybe it's because there's folks like me, and I think like you and others that will do that. But man, I pick up so much trash on the course.
Yeah, it's like one of those things where if cans aren't provided, or trash receptacles, carry out, carry in. Like that's just the way it's got to be in.
Right. Or even carry more out than you carry.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So
the next one, it says fairways that need mowing. I would agree with this 100%. That's 40% of somewhat of a problem. It is amazing how many disc golf courses are left unmaintained. Just in general, just unmaintained, where they were put in and maybe there was a diligent group that was taking care of them, and that group dissolves over time, or the person that is kind of the head or the lead kind of moves away or whatever, and then all of a sudden courses fall in disrepair. It's amazing how many courses I come across that are that way in the past. It's becoming fewer and fewer now. but there's a lot of courses that kind of like Sugar Creek near us.
Yeah.
Kind of falls into that disrepair moment. Like tee pads suck. Like some of the fairways could be cleared, and it's never mowed, never maintained.
I haven't been down there in a while. So
I don't think I've ever been there except for in the winter where it's a actual fairway. You're just throwing through tall crap.
Yeah.
everywhere. So, missing, weathered, or damaged tee signs. I see that where either tee signs were never put in. They got damaged, never replaced. They're weathered where, the sun rotted. You can't read them or know anything about it. Or, water got under it and you're missing half the sign. So you only see where the tee pad is, nothing else. No course map is another one. So come across that quite a bit. And we actually have that problem at Wildberry.
Yeah. I mean, we have the signs now that were from the tournament, but they're not permanent.
Not permanent,
they're just kind of down. But so we'll get those in.
Yeah, probably within the next. I actually just spoke with the gentleman that did the signs, and he says he was going to try to get them to me by Friday, the finished ones.
Oh, wow.
He wanted to make some changes.
Yeah.
And then I'll get them over to the printers, and we'll get them printed on some aluminum, and should be good. So we'll put vinyls on aluminum, and then just as far as mounting them, then we're probably going to mount them to a rock. I'm thinking. Or something low, because I like how they're low now.
Yeah.
And as long as it's probably about a foot off the ground, it's not going to pose an issue with snow or anything like that. So I think we're going to try to mount them low to where there's no issues with backhand or forehands or any throwings.
Or if you could, so we had the T markers, with the holes on them or whatever in Sister Bay. If you could get like a wood block or something, kind of like that, like a wedge that you can just kind of put it on. And
I think that would be nice too. We'll see. And then I think the only other one that I wanted, there's two of them that I wanted to kind of point out. And I guess they shows as big problems, but standing water and mud on course, sure it might be. And soil erosion and compaction. I don't know. I guess I don't see either of these things as being a problem, because standing water and mud on the course is nature. That is what it is. We're built in forests and parks and things like that. So you're going to have those issues.
I feel like there's some things you could do though to make sure, like you could bring the grade up of the water, levels of fairways or wherever there's standing water pretty easily. Like I feel like you can just fill in with more dirt or mud or whatever, try to push that water to another area that's not in the course or something like that.
Right. Yeah, and I think a lot of that stuff is, but you have so many different water tables and regulations with DNR and all that stuff. Like, in places like here, topsoil is expensive.
It is.
That's so true. Because we're rocks, that's all we have. But I also see this as being more of a, as far as the standing water and mud, I think that's more of a course design issue rather than a maintenance issue, in my humble opinion. The soil erosion and compaction, I think that's just something that needs to be dealt with, and that's why multiple pin and multiple tee pad locations are important, because it spreads that wear out. Especially with multiple pin locations, because you can move those pins as that wear and erosion and compaction is happening.
Yep.
So I think, like I said, I see these as more course design issues, but so, all right, I'll let you go with course design, because I don't think there's anything else on these two. No, there's a lot more. There's quite a few. No garbage cans on course. There's things like that. No public restrooms near the course. And I think that for men, not an issue. For women, is an issue. For us, we don't have a bathroom on our course.
No. Yeah.
Not an issue.
No, not right now.
Not right now. Not yet.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. So then we'll go into course design and construction issues.
So one of the big ones is tee pads that are slippery, and we have somewhat of a problem at 42%, small problem 28%, 29% around there. And I guess it all depends on what kind of tee pads you're using, but yeah, I mean, Bjorn, perfect case of broke his leg on a tee pad. I don't remember what the deal was, but if he slipped or
I think there was alternate factors that were involved. Okay. I think there was some drinking going on. That could have been, but I think he slipped off the side of but it was clearly unmaintained, and so I think from what I understand, he slipped off the side of it.
And even on the Pro Tour we've seen people off to the side of tee pads quite frequently, that they're just not maintained to the best.
Well, Memorial is one where when you play at Vista's tee pads suck.
Yeah.
They are slippery. So everybody plays off to the side, and they give you the option to do that. So everybody throws from the dirt. I mean, there are some tee pads that are a little nicer, a little newer, that have a bit more grip. But for the most part, they all suck. The sun erosion and just so much play on those things.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're pretty
I've seen
bad.
a lot of tee pads recently, like concrete ones, where they're not smooth. They have like a little bit of a ridge in them or something. So you get that little bit of grip, maybe not the best for turning on your heel at the end of a tee pad, but you're still not going to slip because it's got that little bit of rigidity.
And it's funny, when I have that much grip, it almost scares me. It doesn't scare me, but it makes me worry a bit that I'm going to like blow a knee out or do something like that, because I don't have a follow through. I plant and then that's where I stay.
Right, like your leg is just gonna stick, and then like the top half of you rotates or something, and like all of a sudden your knee's like, I'm torn.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we're not going to do this anymore. Folks like Jordan has a follow through where I don't think any of those things really bother him. I'm trying to think of who else has follow throughs like that. But like you think someone like Drew Gibson.
Yeah.
Like when he plants, that foot stays. Like, I mean, he has the rotation on the hill, but outside of that, he doesn't move. So you think too much grip or you can't get that rotation, I'm sure it could hurt you. So, all right.
All right, next we got players have a hard time navigating between holes on the course. And we have it at 40%, somewhat of a problem. 33, about a third of the people with a small problem. And then 18% a big problem. And I know at Wildberry for a while we didn't have signs. All we had were the little arrows on top of the basket kind of pointing to where the next tee pad was, and if you're not paying attention to that, you're like, where am I going?
Well, right. And when you get back into some of them where there's a little bit of a trek going, it's hard to find them.
It is.
We got it onto UDisc, but then, and obviously this was course under maintenance. I mean, these are courses that we're building. We just took a long time to build it. But we've all been to those courses.
Oh, absolutely.
I was in one it was in Kentucky. I don't remember the course, but I had ran into a guy that was down there, and we had played together. And if I wasn't with him, I would have never been able to navigate this course. Like, maybe it was like Georgia. I don't remember where it was, but I would have never been able to navigate this course because there were so many different layouts. And in UDisc, there was like 7 layouts.
Oh, wow.
So many different pads. They were changing holes. They took out some holes. And he's like, oh, no, that's not the tee pad anymore. It's over here. And you'd go over and there's a brand new, beautiful tee pad, but there was this old tee pad sitting over there that they don't even use. There's brush in front, and you're just like, how do you navigate these things? It was an awesome course, but it was really hard to, navigate. So we've all been to those courses.
I don't have any.
Yeah, I just says courses that are boring,
unimaginative,
too repetitive. That's pretty high too. So 32% and 33% of somewhat, and then kind of, or what was the middle one?
Yeah, I think
somewhat and kind of, and
actually it's like above, double digits almost all across the board.
Right.
So
right, and I think that speaks volumes to the growth of the sport, because people that probably shouldn't be putting in courses are putting courses all over the places, where it's just a municipality says, I have a park and we're just going to put a hole out. There's a course that I initially designed and had fun with, but I was really new into the sport at the university that I was at. And we put them in, we just used temporary baskets, but we had them all over the place. And then they ended up building a parking garage basically through 3 of the holes.
Oh my goodness.
So it took out like 3 or 4 of the holes. So they moved the course across the street, and it was just a farm field.
Yeah.
And that's it. It just went around the farm field. And I was like, it's boring, Yeah. So, but those are the type of things that happen. If you get people that don't understand the sport and the most appropriate way to design and add feature and fun and, then it just ends up being something that you're just like, oh, this is boring. Like, I don't want to come back to this place.
Yeah.
So
I'm just going to point out courses that favor right-hand, backhand dominant players. 34, almost 35% of people said, not a problem. You 35% of the right-hand players
are the problem.
No, but as a lefty, I'm trying to, develop my forehand a little better to combat that. But I do find that there, you know, you go to the course and you're like, man, this is another righty heavy hole. But then there's some people, you know, that probably go to some courses that are like, oh, this is challenging. It's a really lefty friendly. But
exactly.
I would say that there's probably more right-handed people in the world than left-handed people. So, you know, that's just how it...
And it's funny because even designing course, I'm like, JP's going to love this. And then you get to it and he's like, this is not a lefty hole. I'm like, what are you talking about? It's a lefty hole. And they're like, no. Like, see this tree right here that just completely negates, you know, so it's even when trying to design a hole or course to have kind of balance, it's hard to do as a righty.
Yeah,
you know?
I get it.
Because I always look at lines and I go, okay, wouldn't it be cool to do this? Mm-hmm. You know, and I think at Wildberry, maybe what do we have? You know, we have some neutral holes that are pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
And those are, you know, everybody can play those, but we maybe have 2 lefty holes at most.
Maybe 3.
Maybe 3, okay.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But I tried. You know, I thought about it, but it never panned out.
Like, really? I mean, holes, I think 7. I'm trying to think what else. People say hole 8 is, but it's really like, it's more neutral.
Yeah, because it's just that big. Oh, 8.
Yeah, it's like you kind of go left and then you go out to the opening and it's the basket's right behind the... Oh, no, that's not hole 8.
No, 8's the big Annie lefty.
Oh, yeah.
I have to throw a big turnover.
Yeah. Okay, that's 8, yeah.
Yeah.
Hole 9, then. That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about, where that tree is.
Yes.
Like, it's really not fair to anybody.
No, it's not.
It's just a hard hole.
Yeah, and then hole... After the FU tree, that's kind of lefty friendly.
Yeah, 13.
And then hole 1.
14. Yeah,
14 and hole 1. Hole
Yeah.
1's pretty lefty friendly.
Yeah, so I gave you a couple shots.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I was thinking
That's
about it.
fine.
Not really, but I was. No, I wasn't. All right. So that's some of the things. So I think some of the things that they didn't mention on here, I think the biggest thing is not like places to relax or places to sit down. Like I feel that it's missing on most courses. Like a nice little bench or just some sort of seating area every couple holes. Like it doesn't have to be every hole, but maybe every 3 or 4 holes.
Yeah.
It's nice to have somewhere to sit.
Right. Or shade, like shade provided where you can just kind of get out of the sun for a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, if you're on a golf course playing, there's not a lot of shade. You need like some kind of shelter or something just to get out of the sun just for a little bit.
Right.
And courses need more disc chargers.
Yeah. That's exactly what we don't need.
A lot of disc chargers.
Silver Creek, which is where the Silver Cup is played.
Yeah.
So Silver Creek everywhere. And I remember the first time I played Silver Creek, that was the very first time I ever saw a disc charger.
Oh, really?
And I thought it was one of the neatest things in the world. I was like, oh, this is funny. And then I started kind of like realizing like it's just vandalism. Like you're just drawing a circle on a bench and like, don't be that guy.
No.
But I did see when I was in Bowling Green, they had a unit, like they attached it to the bench that you could set your disc in. And it was called the disc charger.
Oh my gosh.
Funniest thing in the world.
That is hilarious.
Because I think they were just really overreacting to
Yeah.
it. So there you go. So stuff and things. There you go. Something to use a CNC with. Make some disc chargers.
Yeah.
And then you're not vandalizing. You're just adding to the beauty.
You can make it like a little pizza oven kind of thing. Like you stick your like disc on a tray and like stick it in for a couple seconds, pull it out.
Exactly.
And, like, oh,
but it has to have the ding when it's done. So
it would be great if you did that with glow discs. Like you actually had something where you could like stick it in a unit and like you had lights where it would charge it up and then like pull it out. And like
I've seen someone that's done that. The ingenuity of disc golfers is incredible. So you know those guys that build their own carts and stuff?
Oh, yeah.
There was one guy that built a PVC one, and then he had like this tinfoil enclosure that was made out of like a hefty container, like one of those Tupperware like square containers.
Yeah.
And he lined it with tinfoil and then UV like LEDs or whatever. And then he would just slide his disc in there.
Oh, dang.
And when he's going to the next hole and he'd pull it out, it'd just be like, boom. It was crazy.
That's cool.
It was really cool.
I saw another guy, I think he had a grip bag or something, and he had LED, he had a UV light in his pocket.
Oh, really?
That just lit everything up, so they all
That's smart,
lit
too.
up really well. Yeah, it was
That's
awesome.
a much easier way
battery
to go
powered.
about that. Yeah. I've seen those other guys that carry around those like giant spotlight flashlights.
They're shining for deer.
The head of them is like the size of a disc.
Yeah.
And they're like, let's charge this thing up. Okay, great. Now none of us can see. You know,
Yeah.
just incredible.
Just instant sunlight.
It is incredible. So, all right. It does not look like we have a random question today again. So sad. You got anything?
Jordan, where are you?
I know. We'll call him out on it.
Oh, well, it's not random, but do you wash your discs?
Never.
Never.
I wipe them.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever washed a disc.
No. Do you lick your discs?
No.
How about kiss them?
Yes.
You do.
I have.
You've kissed your discs?
Yeah, I've once or twice. Like after a good putt, you're like, oh, thank God I made this.
That's weird.
Yeah.
What I have started doing. Were you with me when we played doubles? Were you on my same card?
When?
Last Thursday.
I don't remember if I was.
I found a new thing, and maybe that's what happened to Zobel.
Oh, wait, no.
Because my hand-eye supply.
Okay, no.
Putters.
Is that the one when we were talking about putt stuff?
No.
Or is that the week before?
No, it's the same round.
Yeah,
but
okay.
I wasn't on that card.
Oh.
Oh, no, you were. You joined me at the end because you would text us and we didn't see your text until we saw you.
Yes, I joined up with you guys at like hole 6 or 7.
Yes. So towards the end of the round, what I started to do is just because I have a hand-eye supply putters. There are 3 of them.
Oh, yeah.
Giant hand on them. So I just started giving my disc high five. So I thought it was creative. It was such a dad thing, but it was still fine.
Yeah,
with
it's
me.
funny.
Yeah, it worked because I gave it a high five and kept hitting big putts. I didn't give my discs high five at all during Zobel.
You should have.
That's what. No, but it was a short putts I was missing.
Yeah.
Well, maybe the high five would have worked. Because to
Maybe.
look that stupid while you're playing, I mean, why not?
Yeah,
So, all right. So you do kiss your disc, though? Seriously? Oh, okay.
What do you think? I'm some kind of weirdo? Like, no, I'm just kidding.
Yes. Are you calling somebody? Why are you calling weirdos? Why are you judging people like that?
Superstition.
Okay.
Maybe that's what it is.
All
Superstition.
right. All right. All right. So let's talk about Pinecrest.
Okay.
So Pinecrest is doing really awesome. So what I want to talk about is more of the go around of Pinecrest. So I want to give big shout out to Ben Kowalski. Pretty sure I said that right, but Ben K. He's running the tournament down there for us. I'm just giving him support. So in the very beginning, I'm very much a individual that loves to help individuals, but I don't want to do for individuals.
Sure.
So when he approached me, right away I said, hey, I would absolutely love to help you, but that's what I want to do is help you. I don't want to do this for you. So if you want to do it, we can put it under a banner, we can get everything going for you, and then we can kind of transition you into doing your own thing. He's like, that's great. That's exactly what I'm looking for. It's fantastic. So started having a conversation with him, and he's just knocking it out of the park.
Awesome.
He's doing such a great job. And I have a plan to get him up here after the tournament goes so we can get his perspective on how everything went. So then
cool.
anybody that's out there that wants to start their own tournament and run their own tournament, to give them a bit of confidence, you know. And I want him to have a conversation with us about exactly what I did well, what I didn't do well, and also what he feels he could learn from, and the good stuff that, you know, may or may not have come out of it. We started with a plan of about 40 people. We set the cap at 100 for this flex start. We're at like 82 or 84 right now. So it's great. New baskets going into the course. We're going to make sure that the profit kind of gets pushed back into the community. And then outside of that, we got some Trash Panda minis that'll go out to every one of the players.
I was like, holy cow, there's a lot of minis.
There is, yeah. So it's 100 minis. We got 100 of them. So each one of those will go out there, and that's like a $12 value.
Yeah.
And then we're going to load up 100 discs that players can just grab as they're coming in. And this is an AM-only tournament, so no pros. And then he's going to do personalized trophies afterwards.
Cool.
And then there's also, we'll probably give him a 10% off coupon for Door Disc itself. So
that's cool.
And, you know, we're like, hey, do you want one of us down there? And he's like, I got it. I got a pro that can't play. He's going to help me. And then I got one of my buddies that's going to play, but he'll just come back. So
Nice.
He's got the whole thing covered.
That's
it's
awesome.
great. And then Great Lakes, or Pepsi, Great Lakes Bottling Company. Pepsi is actually donating water
Cool.
for the course. So at the turn, there'll be water and everything there. So I think he's doing a fantastic job. He's thinking about stuff from a player's point of view, not from a business point of view. But I think he also sees that side. So when him and I have conversations, he gets it. He understands how it goes. And he's like, I told him, don't be afraid to make money because that's what these tournaments are for. because if you don't make the money, you can't put it back into the sport. So if you're breaking even on every single one of these, how are you going to continue to make these better? So that was one of the things that we've talked about, but I want to have a good conversation with him when we come back. But like I said, I just want to give him a big shout out. He's doing an awesome job.
Cool.
And I plan on being down there with my kids just to say, hey, what's going on, and kind of see the new course layout and
That's awesome.
see the setup. Yeah.
Because this is like the first tournament held in Green Bay, or I don't know.
One of the very first.
Yeah.
I think back in the day there were some, but this is one of the first because it's pretty hard to work with the municipalities there. And we have some connections within the Oneida Nation for Baird Creek.
Ah, okay.
Is that that's on Oneida land, I'm pretty sure.
It could be.
Is it Baird Creek?
I think so.
Well, anyways, there's one of the courses out there. And Jordan has a bit of a connect. So we're going to try to get something going on there. And Ben will be our point man there if he wants to do it. But yeah, just some awesome things going on. And I think it's good for us because it's exposure, of course. But it's also just good for the disc golf community. And that's what Door Disc Golf has always been, is about giving and growing through disc golf. And I think this is one of the best ways that we can do it. And of course, he's like super pumped. And he's like, okay, so when you open a shop down here, and I'm like, hey, you got to get this shop financially stable before we move on down there.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
But it's an idea, and we're looking at some of the possibilities. And I think it's an underserved community that is a huge community in Green Bay. Like that Green Bay Appleton area is a huge community.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be awesome just to see the turnout, and I hope I can spend a decent amount of time down there. But my kids will probably dictate about how long I can stay there.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll be down there, and I think every one of the Door Disc guys are going to go down there and support and help in any way, shape, or form that we can while we're down there. So yeah, so good job, Ben. All right, and big news. Are you ready for it?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
We're open 7 days a week again. And on Fridays, we're dedicating time, Joe and I, strictly YouTube.
Nice.
So we will have a YouTube here pretty soon. So whoever wants to be involved is going to be horrible. It's going to be junky, probably pretty potato-y.
Yeah.
I'm just setting the bar really low so when we overachieve. I was thinking I have this Nokia Razr. Was it a Razr? No, the Motorola Razr.
Yeah.
Flip phone from back in I don't know, 98, 99.
Like 720p video.
Exactly. If that. I think that's what we're going to start with.
Yeah.
And then we'll slowly upgrade our game. So if you're looking for some really good quality stuff, probably not us.
Maybe we can get that video that I shot last summer actually on the channel then.
Which one is that?
The challenge video that we did.
Yes, with Jordan and I?
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
I forgot about
I've been
that.
holding on to that for so long.
Yeah, exactly. It was the starter pack challenge.
The starter
right?
pack challenge, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Hopefully, because I tried sending it so many times, it's like, this file is too big to send.
Yes.
I was like, no.
Yep.
What do I have to do?
Well, I took a picture of some woodcocks walking across the street.
Yeah.
A video of
Oh my
it.
God, it was the worst quality I've ever seen.
Isn't it crazy?
I could not believe how bad it was. I was like, what did you shoot this?
Yeah, no, these woodcocks were just walking across the street, bouncing. And I was like, this is the coolest thing in the world. They got about halfway across the street. I was like, maybe I should take video of this. So I pulled it up, and it's crystal clear on my phone.
Yeah.
But I sent it to everybody, and they're like, what are we looking at?
It looked like a bunch of turds walking across the road. Straight from the 80s.
Yeah. It was pretty cool, though. But they, dance, dude. It was, the coolest thing. They, strut. I was like, this is funny. I'm just sitting there dying laughing. And then I'm like, maybe I'll take a video of this and send it to the guys. So it didn't work.
I kind of got what it was.
Yeah.
I didn't see what... I was like, it's things walking across the road. Yes.
Exactly. All right. Do you want me to do shop updates, or do you want to do winner mystery box first?
Why don't we do the winner of the mystery?
Okay, here we go.
All right.
Drum roll.
Yeah, so we're just doing a random comment picker, and thank you to everybody that entered. There's 55 people, which is pretty good. And so I'm just hitting the random comment, and slowly.
Have you not got the password to our Wi-Fi here?
No, it's good.
Okay.
The random picker.
Okay.
All right, the winner is DNAP 20 28. So
Wait. DNAP 28?
Knap.
KNAP, yeah.
Yeah, 28.
I think that is Dustin Knapp.
Or David.
Oh, then I don't know.
I'm just going to check it out real quick. Ooh, wait a minute.
All right.
Yep, David Knapp. So
David Knapp.
we will be making a post on Friday when this drops as well, and
You can see his profile picture?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, that's not the guy.
Okay. But yeah, I will DM you, or you can DM us. DM us your address and contact information, everything, and we will get the black box out to you.
Yep.
So just thank you to everybody who entered, and we'll try to get some more giveaways out and about on the channel through here. And make sure you're following the the Instagram page, night_owls_pod, and yeah.
Yep. I think it'll work. So here's the shop updates. Discraft restock. So we got the latest release of the Discraft restock. We got a DD restock coming, and we also had some that we just received, but we have the Wysocki Slammer first runs.
Ooh.
We have the Mondahano Fusion X Vandals, and once we get them in shop, we can sell them in shop, but can't release them until the 26th, I wanted to say. Something like that. I don't remember.
I mean, tomorrow's this will come out on Friday, but
Right.
Thursday will be the Escapes and
the Escapes and the Graces.
Yeah.
And those are the Kristen Star Orbit Graces.
Grand Royal Orbit.
Grand Royal Orbits, and then we have the Grand Royal Orbit Escapes.
Yep, Konas.
And then we have the Mondahano Fusion X Vandals coming in. We have the Wysocki Slammer Orbit Slammer first run. We have the B Dynamic Emax coming in. I believe we have B Dynamic.
Oh, I saw those. They actually have like the B on them. Yeah, those are cool.
We have one more of those coming in. I don't remember what it is. And then Kings, the no mouth Kings, the mouthless Kings. And then those are just Opto. And then another drum roll. We have grip equipment. So we will actually be stocking the full line of grip bags. We cannot sell them online, but in the shop, we're here. But we have the full line, and I ordered the full line, so we have all the way from the G series to the A series.
Nice.
So we have every one of them coming
Are you
in.
guys getting rain flies at all?
Rain flies, no, but I can order them.
Okay.
I was thinking about ordering rain flies and hats, but I
Yeah.
kind of want to limit the expenditures.
Yeah.
Because it was a pretty big purchase.
Right. No, I can understand. Yeah.
But yeah, we have those coming in, and I debated so much. Like, I was like, should I get them? Should I get them? I was like, nah, you know what? I'm just going to hold off on buying the rain flies. And in that, we have Lazat, the monkey bag.
Nice.
Yeah, the gorilla bag. So,
Yeah. Angry Ape.
Yeah, what is it? What is it
Angry
called?
Ape.
Angry Ape. There you go.
Yeah.
The Angry Ape bag. So we just only have one of those coming in.
Those were hot commodities.
Yeah,
when
we
they came
could
out.
get up to 4 of them, but I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to stay with one
Yeah.
because they're huge bags. Like,
Right.
they're the AX5s. They're the biggest bags I think that they make.
Mm-hmm.
So just fantastic. I'm super happy. Big shout out to them. It was a really neat process to go through, and we've been dropping hints over the last month or
Yeah.
so that as soon as we get a grip on our new thing. But it was a really neat process. We actually had a conversation with the sales rep. He actually kind of interviewed us to see what we were doing, how we were going about it, what our store hours were, and if we were going to be consistent, if we're year round, those type of things. So it was kind of neat, and kind of what our philosophy is and how we operate. And so there's no other vendor that has done that. And I think that just shows the pride that they have. And especially with, like Zuka, we have to handle Zuka's warranties. So if anything goes wrong with the Zukas and they bought them with us, we have to take care of them.
Oh, okay.
So we kind of meddle with that. And then we get a hold of Zuka to try to figure out how to solve that. And then, but with Grip, they're like, straight to us. Like, lifetime warranties on these bags, just send them straight to us. If there's any issues, send them straight to us. So I'm super happy about getting them in. I don't think there is a better bag out there, in my humble opinion. I think there are some unique bags out there, but as far as the bang for the buck, like Grip is at the top. So look for that coming. And then outside of that, you want to tell them where they can find you again?
Yeah.
Or us.
Yep. Okay. Podcast is night_owls_pod. And my personal is onenight.owl, and that's all on Instagram.
Yep. And then door_disc_golf is our Instagram page. And on that is a link tree. All of our socials are on there. So jump on there, give a like, give a follow, and then you can jump on that link tree. And I will be adding JP's OnlyFans to that pretty soon. Yeah. So if you want to check it out, there you go. Because he's trying to hide it, but we all know. All right. Keep us on par. Peace.